Have you heard? Hello.
Okay, yes, I'm with you.
So, what does Lord Buddha mean by when he says life is a illusion? Because recently Elon Musk said that life is a maybe a virtual simulation.
Nice. Yes, I can answer that.
Does it have
Okay.
any call? Does
Uh,
it have any call?
Let me try and answer. Okay, first of all, you don't take any calls. Okay, then it will disturb the conversation, right? So I've put my phone on silent. You need to put your phone on silent. Okay,
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
no worries. And let's continue. So, um, um, so it's like this, an illusion. Now, now, Sadiq. Now, when we now take yourself, are you mind or body?
Mind, 100%.
Okay, now define mind. What is that?
Environment. That's the word.
Okay, this is how I would explain based on my understanding of Buddhism. Mind is thoughts coming and going. These thoughts are not you, they are not yours. Thoughts just come and go, right? And every thought has an emotional charge, and it takes you to um, a spiritual plane of being, right? So, for example, if you meditate, um, you may be able to reach a higher state of being, and you feel emotionally very good, and it's just thoughts that take you there. You might see a violent film, and your state of being may go way down, and you may feel bad also. You might think it's quite exhilarating, but your body thinks it's going to be killed, right? And thoughts do that to you. Um, so what you call mind is just thoughts coming and going, which bring an emotional charge and an existential plane psychologically, right?
Okay,
So
sir. Can I ask you one more question, sir?
yes, please.
So when it comes to reincarnation, there's opportunity, like for example, if I'm dying in this birth and I was born in the next birth, does my mind and my soul have a correlation, or is it just a soul only just moving to another plane?
That's a really good question. First of all, in Buddhism there is no constant soul, right? Soul refers to a fixed identity. This is me. There's no such thing in Buddhism, because for example, the person, when we started this call, already that person is gone. We are a little bit wiser and older right now, right? So there is no spirit as such. It's a train of thoughts, a trail of thoughts which are interconnected, right? So, for example, um, uh, if I die right now, as we have this discussion, okay, chances are I'm very relaxed. I am not particularly attached to my body right now. We are discussing something of a spiritual standing, and chances are this. Okay, it's difficult. Okay, that's a bad example. Let me try and give you another example. Um, just thinking out loud. Okay, a man is at battle, and he's being two people are fighting. Okay, uh, a duel. They are both armed, and one just chops off the other's limbs and stabs him, and he dies. Um, so the state of mind is that of killing. So he may die a very violent death, very angry. he may be so angry, he may think, I'm going to eat you alive for killing me. Right? So when someone dies in that kind of mindset, his next birth, the karma, the karmic reaction will give him a like for like body. So maybe he will be born a violent carnivore, maybe a lion. And if someone dies, for example, in a meditative state, where he is not attached to what he sees, what he hears, what he tastes, he may be born in a higher realm. Now in Buddhism there is the human realm, the Deva realms, the Brahma realms. These things we don't see. So in Buddhism there are many universes or levels of existence which humans can't see. Right?
Dimensions.
Yeah, different. Yeah, you could call it. You can call it what you like. There are different levels. Devas are kind of humanoid entities, but of very refined or higher states of being. Brahmas don't have bodies. They are at an even higher state of being. And then below the human plane, you got animals which we can see, and there are other beings even below that, so-called hungry ghosts or other violent states of being. So when you die, the collective, the last state of being of the mind, plus what you've been doing, gives you the corresponding state of birth. It's a bit like this. Depending on the amount of money you buy a car. Similarly, depending on the good or bad you've been doing, you will get a body. And you don't get to choose, you just get it. But people at a higher state of being, they can choose their body, but they have to be very highly developed meditators. Does that help? So there is continuous rebirth.
Till enlightenment.
Yes, yes. And you may be born at, see, now currently the technology is there, vehicles are there, aircraft are there, but this is just one snapshot of history. And there have been dinosaurs before that, the Iron Age, the Bronze Age. People have been hunter-gatherers, and in 1,000 years, who knows, maybe 100 years there'll be Star Wars, like,
Or maybe we go back to the hunter-gatherer stage also.
Oh
we
yeah,
even go back to
yeah,
the hunter-gatherer stage also.
yeah. So who knows, maybe we will reach interstellar transport and galactic civilizations, intergalactic, who knows, but we may go for a 6 also. So
Yeah,
the thing is, everything is
that's highly
cyclic.
probable.
Yeah, but the problem is this: whatever we love, we will leave behind when we die. And you don't know, now I'm much older than you, so we assume I'll die before you, but who knows, so death is the ultimate reality. It just wakes your eyes. Our common, what we all have in common is death. Everything else is debatable.
Yeah, there's a phrase, right? That
Yes.
goes like, after you're born, the only constant is death.
So this is where, see, Buddhism is a tool. See, according to say Hinduism, we are enslaved by karma, and so we are tied to this cycle of rebirth. Buddhism agrees with that. Okay, it just tries to, it gives you a process, a path to cheat karma and awaken out of it, so that you are no longer bound to this cage we call a body. And in that path, you can develop your wisdom, your consciousness, so that you don't just awaken into this body, you might awaken into the whole universe and be an enlightened being. And a Buddha is an awakened being who is awakened into the whole universe. You show him an ant, he could connect with the ant and tell something like this: 10,000 lifetimes ago, this ant was this. And based on his karmic cycles, his thinking patterns, in 10,000 lifetimes, he's going to become this. So, that kind of universal consciousness a being could awaken into, but it takes an infinite period of time where you develop qualities like generosity, discipline, letting go of negative things, wisdom, determination, kindness and patience, honesty, truth, focus, and letting go of all distractions, mainly loved ones' distractions possibly, unquantifiable love for all beings, and at the same time be unruffled and be cool no matter what happens to you, even if they tear you limb by limb, rip you apart. Such beings are able to practice compassion even at that state of being, and they've been doing that for infinity. And then you, in the infinite future, you are born a bodhisattva who's just about to become a Buddha, and that is a very, 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 very. It's like the odds are much more remote than winning the lottery. Okay, it's much more remote, but you've been working at it for infinity. So strange things can happen. What is more likely? 7 lotus flowers blooming when you walk, or you winning the lottery? You're more likely to win the lottery. What is more likely, you getting hit by lightning or walking on 7 flowers of lotus when you're born, hit by lightning? But the odds are so remote to become a Buddha. For infinity, you've been developing this goodness, and suddenly crazy things happen. But the real crazy thing is not you walking on lotus. The real crazy thing is awakening people out of ignorance into becoming generous, kind, wise beings. That is the ultimate magic. How is it possible to forgive someone when they're trying to kill you? How is it possible to, here's a good example. There's an invading army. They want to take away your country. You have a committed army which is willing to go to battle and die. The whole army is willing to die for you and kill for you, right? And same with the other army. So you may decide you don't want to hurt your wives, your children. You're a great powerful king, right? And the one who's invading is equally powerful. You might decide to go for a truce, and you might tell the other king, okay, my kingdom is yours, no one dies, I will walk away, you have to look after everybody, and bodhisattvas do that. Yes. Sorry, repeat your question. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat? Yeah, so as I was saying, these are qualities, these are the 10 paramis that have to be perfected to achieve this state of mind. It is a state of mind. Okay, so just compare that to our mind. Just close your eyes and it goes crazy. I mean, talking from personal experience, once upon a time I was addicted to Pringles. Now, how crazy is that?
Hmm.
I could eat
I
two
can
bottles
relate
of
to it.
Pringles in a row, maybe three, until my tongue tasted of literally blood, because Pringles kind of cuts you, it's kind of abrasive. That didn't stop me. And then I got pains in the lower abdomen. Then I thought, oh my god, this might kill me. So then I couldn't find the middle path, just have a few and stop. I couldn't do that, so I gave it up.
I think you have a very addictive personality, sir.
I am.
Just like me.
I am. Well, with Pringles, yes. And well, there have been other things I've been addicted. When I was lecturing once upon a time, I was addicted to have a iced coffee with shorties, and I had like two shorties and an iced coffee every day, and it was a high stress job, and I got chest pains, you know. So I decided not to take the. I took medication, but I stopped taking them now. It's been ages now, but I changed my lifestyle. I stopped eating short eats and all this junk food. Changed my lifestyle. So
That's good, sir.
there are ups and downs. So see, if you don't control your senses, they will kill you. You will eat all the rubbish and do stupid things and destroy yourself and others. So Buddhism, in the Buddha's first sermon, he said, find the center. Don't go towards luxury, don't just suffer, just find the center and keep going. That's the middle path. And see the world as it is. Now, we don't see the world as it is. Um, uh,
We see how we are. We see the world as how we are.
this is a good thing. Now, your original question was, is this a simulation? Um, see, it's this. We are intoxicated by ignorance. We don't see the suffering. The average person thinks life is fun and is pursuing fun. Now, in our estate, there are a bunch of squirrels. Every morning, one squirrel is running, the other squirrel is running after it. Okay, so they are pursuing love or fun or whatever. Right? They think life is fun. Well, I don't know, they didn't tell me, but it looks like they're having fun. Okay, until the dog eats one of them. But still, the one that's left starts running after another squirrel. So they're pursuing love or fun. So, in this pursuit of happiness or the madness of happiness, few people awaken and they say, hold on, I'm suffering. Hold on, everyone's suffering. That's the first step towards Buddhism. Buddhism is not for those who think, oh, life is great. Life is great, God is great, everything's great, no problems. So then who needs Buddhism? Just enjoy. But if you just suddenly come to a point, hold on, I'm suffering, right? Hold on, what if my mom dies? What if my dad dies? What if my partner dies? What if I die? And okay, if they die, that's bad news, but what if it doesn't end there? What if there is a small possibility that my dad was in the army, he'll kill so many people, okay? And he's killed so many people and he gets so angry, but he happens to love my dog so much. What if there's a slim possibility that he loves the dog so much that there's a possibility that he could be born a dog? If there's the smallest possibility, won't that scare the hell out of you?
Definitely, sir.
You know? And then see, your state, just like the amount of money you have decides the car you buy, your karmic balance gives you a body. And that's what the Buddha has told us. And to me, it makes sense to me. So I've decided to accept
Makes
that.
sense to me also.
Yeah. So I've decided to accept that. So therefore, I do my level best not to break the 5 precepts, because that's the free of charge insurance policy the Buddha has given. He says, if you don't do these things, you're giving the world kindness by not killing. You're giving the world generosity by not stealing. You're giving the world peace of mind by not having sex with children or other people's partners. You're not giving pain to others, and therefore you're protected in return. And you don't fool people and you don't intoxicate. So that's the bare minimum. It's not everything, but that's the bare minimum. It's like the life jacket that keeps you from going down, because the current is pulling you down. Yeah. I mean, just look at the average person who goes fishing. They don't know what they're doing to themselves. The average person who kills or dies for their country, listening to all this nonsense, media nonsense, okay, proudly they kill or die for their country. It doesn't matter which country they're killing or dying for, they're going to go to hell for killing. There's a huge chance they're going to go, and even if they're born human, chances are they'll join some army and kill some terrorist or end up being one. See, it's just by chance you're born American or Arab, or whether you're son of Bin Laden or son of Prabhakaran, it's just chance. And suddenly you become all serious about that cause and you're willing to kill or die for it. I mean, you could switch sides like this.
It's like a paradigm shift.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, one moment you've got a hardline Sinhalese and you're willing to kill and die for Sinhalese. Next moment you're born Muslim and you're going to kill and die for Muslim. That's madness. So we are just fooled, and this is a mad simulation. Children play violent games, and most people do the same with real life. Same thing.
Exactly, sir.
Same thing.
So when I was small, like the Hajj festival, no? Like that
Yes.
come to
Yeah.
So they sacrifice cows. So
Yeah.
as a passage of pride, they
Yeah.
give the youngest boy in the family to cut the cow. And I'm like, I found that really disturbing when I was small. I used to run away. I used to take the knife and I used to run away back of my house and hide the knife somewhere and just hide myself somewhere. But then later on, when my parents and uncle were forcing, slaughter it, Sadiq, slaughter it, is a right of courage. You will get good deeds and whatnot. And then I did it for some time, and when I was about 11 or 12, I stopped doing it. I was like, I'm not getting involved in this. You all do whatever you all want. So not today, like recently, I think it was like a week ago,
Yes.
my nephew, he's coming and he's getting so excited. He's like, Sadiq, Nana, I slaughtered this cow here today. It was like so exciting to see the blood. Then it was
Oh my gosh.
So exactly, sir. So that is the level of stupidity our people are thinking.
Okay. Now there, let me tell you, this is what it is. This is the real shift. This is the you touched it. See, so it's the shift. Now it's very it doesn't matter the label you wear. The label does not matter. So you go fishing in your yacht in Europe, right? You catch this big fish and the fish is struggling because it can't breathe, and you're all elated. That's ignorance. So whether you're catching a 6-foot fish and you're elated, or you're beheading a cow, the label you're wearing doesn't matter. Okay? It's ignorance. And so the thing is, yeah, it's ignorance. It's ignorance. The problem is, in the cycle of rebirth, it'll come back to you. and the chances of you being born a fish or a cow goes up. So the label, yeah, the label you wear is not going to save you. You will reap what you sow. And if you hurt animals, it's going to come back to you. And that is the key. The label is not important. Labels we have made, for branding and marketing. So we have to but we should have nothing but compassion for people who kill, because they don't know the repercussions. They don't know the repercussions. And I'm so proud of you and happy for you that you have awakened and you see the pain of animals and you can't do it. And that is your insurance policy, that you won't do such things, And the label doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We should all see. We should all stop. We should all try and get this insurance policy. Don't kill. Don't steal. Don't have wrong sexual activity. And don't cheat people. And intoxication. It's there in most religions for a greater or lesser extent. So the label doesn't matter, but most religions looks up to compassion and kindness, and there are some areas which have been kind of misread, and that creates a lot of suffering, and especially statecraft. When you create a state, you fool everyone. You get a piece of cloth and say, okay, this is your flag, now get up. Now you have to kill or die for it. How mad is that?
You have explained this to me before also.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
Borders are just imaginary lines.
Just imagine, yeah. So we are creating so much suffering for others. So the moment you realize you're suffering, you don't want others to suffer. And you will make things better. See, the moment you make it mine, you're suffering, The moment you make it mine, you're suffering. For example, some woman dies, anepau, right? Your sister, your mother dies, your wife, that makes a big deal. So this is why,
maybe attachment.
Yes, this is why the Buddha encourages people to become bhikkhus. You let go of everything. I mean, you will help your mom, you might give them medicine, but they have let go. Actually, you talked about simulations. So becoming a monk is a simulation of nibbana, because you're not attached to your country, your family, your parents, your money, your assets, your education, your title, your label means nothing to a true monk. And they are not slaves of their eyes, mouth, sleep, sex. They are not slaves to power or money. They are only tied to the truth and unconditioned happiness which is created in the mind through meditation. Right? Now, the moment I spoke to you earlier about a meditative statue, I'm sure your mind was at ease. Maybe you felt that kind of bliss, And I mean, this is now I do my level best to protect the 5 precepts, and I also try to spend as much time as possible with higher spiritual beings. So I listen to especially foreign bhikkhus, because I want to improve my English also. So that uplifts me, and there are few people who have a habit of giving me a call in the evening because they are in pain and they want to talk to me and confide in me, and they say they feel better after talking to me. So so what I'm trying to say is, by associating people wiser than me, who are at a higher spiritual state of being, it uplifts me, and that helps me help others. But if I associate people of the opposite end of the spectrum, I will feel miserable, and whoever I influence will feel miserable too.
People of lower pleasure and people of higher pleasure.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. But I have to confess, I suffer a lot when I associate people who are into lower pleasures, and it's difficult.
It's not more of the suffering, it's more of the headache, sir.
Well
You
said.
just sit them and you look at them and you be like,
Well said. Uncomfortable. I feel very uncomfortable.
this is not
Well
normal.
said. Well said. Well said. See, now I have a family wedding I have to go to, and I'm not looking forward to it because whatever they're talking, I'm not interested in. You know.
That goes like family functions are the best way to test your spirituality.
Well said. Well said. And so if I don't drive my father there, that's a big letdown. But that's a lot of suffering. And me and my dad, we have nothing in common. I love him, I respect him, but again, we can't agree on anything. You know, so it's difficult.
Same here with my parents.
It's tough. I planted 2 kaju trees outside for people to have kaju on the road. He takes it and plants it in the inside. so I love him. He's done so much for me, you know. But we can't agree. So it's a struggle. There's a huge struggle between higher pleasures and lower pleasures. And then again, who am I to say there are lower pleasures? You know, who am I?
They must be thinking we are having lower pleasures.
Spot on. And higher meditative beings would not want to associate me possibly because, you know, because for them, I would be pulling them down spiritually.
No, I don't think that's high meditative beings won't do that because they understand. They will associate anyone, sir. I mean some sadhu like.
Yeah, but then there is a limitation to that. See, it's a good point. There is a lecture given by the Buddha. It's point number 1 is stay away from ignorant people. So the idea is save them, but don't associate them. So the idea is save them, but don't be like them. And then associate the wise. Associate them, be like them. And in that process, the third point, worship them. Very specifically says worship them. You know, in essence, stay away from trouble, worship people who get you out of trouble, onto the path. You know, the awakening of suffering. You know, so why do we kill cattle or fish or why? We think it makes us happy. You know?
So I think from what my experience about reading about Lord Buddha is, so Lord Buddha is the first person to make a paradigm shift in the whole world accordingly, like like you said, like changing the paradigm to lower pleasure to higher pleasure. Because when Lord Buddha was in the palace and he had seen everything of life, he had seen all the gold in the world, all the women in the world, all the fruits, all the best of food and everything. As soon as he came out and saw those dead bodies going, when people were carrying those dead bodies, that's when he switched.
Spot on.
And the whole world switched with him.
Yes, he awakened to suffering. Earlier he was having a party. He was having a jolly good time. Because his father at a state level made sure he wouldn't start thinking seriously, you know. And suddenly he just awakened. I mean, no one could have stopped it anyway because he's been developing these qualities for countless lifetimes. And also the people around him have been following him in samsara for a long time. They've been through this cycle many times. But this was the final sixer he's going to play, and it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story, and ultimate leadership, you know. And one thing I want to highlight is we should keep the labels out. See, it doesn't matter race, religion, um,
Nothing
color.
else.
It doesn't matter. Um, if you take a life, you're going to pay. If you take what is not yours, you're going to pay. If you hurt a child, take away the childhood. You hurt uh, you hurt a genuine relationship by getting involved in that. Interfering, intoxication. But these are the basics. Okay, these are the ABCs of Buddhism. These are just baby steps. There's a lot more. In essence, if you ask me, Sadiq, if you ask me in one word what is Buddhism, it's appamado, which is in English, what would I say?
Compassion.
Heedfulness. Compassion is all, well, it's one with that. Okay, the thing is, we are suffering, everybody is suffering, so hurry up. So that is kindness. Hurry up in what? Hurry up and be serene here and now, right now. Right now. Right now, there should be generosity, there should be discipline. See, we have to tame all our ministries. Ministry of sight, ministry of taste. Yeah? We have to control the demands by the ministries for the greater good of all. That's a huge challenge. Yeah. And the mind has to be in a constant state of compassion, as you mentioned, as you rightly mentioned. Constant state of compassion. The moment you have compassion in your mind, you're not suffering. Moment you're thinking anepau to someone else, you're not suffering. But when you think anepau to yourself, you're suffering. Very good. Any more questions?
So I'll write few questions and I can ask whenever you're free. I can ask them. Can I ask them?
Sure. So for today, can we call it a day for now?
Yeah, sure. Sir.
So
Thank you,
feel
sir,
free to write down any questions, and we'll take it up. Is it all right if I share this on YouTube?
Yeah, it's okay, sir. It's fine.
Superb.
But I look a bit ugly now, so compared to before. But it's all good, sir.
No worries. They will only see my face, but they'll be listening
Okay.
to what we discuss, and hopefully people will, sign into 5 precepts irrespective of the label they wear. There's enough suffering, we shouldn't add to it.
Definitely,
And the seek. So we talked about suffering. The only way out of suffering is, so the moment we think I, my, what am I getting out of it, we're suffering. So we should concentrate on giving how we can. In my case, I've decided what I can give is English and Buddhism to beginners. I'm not an expert on Buddhism. I'm just stuck with the ABCs. But there are so many people who don't know that. Yeah. So I don't claim to be an expert on Buddhism at all. I'm just getting started. Baby steps in the beach. And the ocean of Buddhism is so deep. Basically, a Buddha can look at any ant and tell you where he's coming, and where he's going. He's that connected to all beings. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. So but still, if I'm helping someone be happy for a moment, that's great.
So you definitely did make me happy on so many occasions. So not only happy, but you gave me the paradigm shift, which is very much was needed for me.
Sadhu, sadhu. That's wonderful. I'll gi- let I'll gi- we'll end. Let me give you a small gift, which is which is a gift of happiness. Whatever you see, whoever you see, whatever you use, just think, thank you, may you be well. You know, so when you have that view of the world, your thoughts will change, your words will change, your actions will change. You know.
So have I told you about the Mimure people?
Yes, you said isolated village. Now
Yeah,
I
pretty much
forgot.
isolated
Yeah,
in
yes,
Sri Lanka. Yeah,
yes,
but now it's slowly getting on
yes,
disisolated because of all the transport
yes,
facilities and everything.
yes.
So what they do is when they go into a forest and if they want to make a small chair, they go to the tree and they pray to the tree saying that, okay, dear tree, if I cut you down, please if we meet in the next life form or the
Wow,
previous life form, please I hope you take advantage of me.
wow, amazing. The Buddha looked at a tree for 7 days and said thank you.
Really.
Yes, and said thank you. So that was his first lesson, gratitude. Um, so it's very amazing, and he didn't travel in chariots. There's no mention of
Wow.
that. So nowadays, if the Buddha was there, I'm wondering whether he would I'm wondering whether he would accept um, uh, transport, oil-driven transport, because
I
so
don't think
many
so.
Americans, so many Arabs are dying because of oil. So there are people who
That
are vegetarian out of kindness. So I think out of kindness we should minimize burning fuel.
suffering.
Yes. So beautiful thought.
Absolutely.
On that thought, do give me a call anytime, and we can have our next discussion. Okay. So all the best. Nice talking to you. So bye from all of us.
Bye, sir.
Take care. All the best.
Take care, sir. Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Ekenek bye. ඔක්කොම කියන්නේ.
Goodbye.
Wonderful. All the best. Right. So that's the